Her voice came through the speaker like a command. Come wash the dishes if you want to join Thanksgiving. Not a request, not an invitation, a declaration of where she thought I belonged. My stepdaughter. Not by blood, but by the years I carried her, funded her dreams, her education, her comfort. I stood in the driveway outside her graduation party, dressed in a suit I bought for her sake, holding a gift I knew she didn't deserve. I saw him the moment I walked in. Her biological father. The man who abandoned her when she was 3. The man she introduced to everyone like I was invisible. I watched her point at him and say words I can never unhear. That's my real dad. Not a whisper, not hesitance, proud. Something inside me froze. Not anger, not grief, only a realization. People don't change, only circumstances do. When the bill for the party arrived, I was already gone. When the restaurant looked around for payment, I was already on a plane. And when that call came weeks later demanding chores for entry into a dinner I once hosted, I felt nothing. The storm didn't break inside me. It settled into perfect stillness. I didn't respond to the insult. I didn't defend myself. I just said one word: enjoy. Then I hung up. The betrayal didn't start at the party. That was merely the unveiling. It started months earlier. Subtle shifts, quiet words I wasn't supposed to hear. Conversations cut short when I walked into the room. Messages she hid, thinking I wouldn't notice. The way she began talking down to me, like I had become a placeholder instead of a father. I told myself I was imagining it, that I was overthinking, that families go through phases. But the signs multiplied. My wife's silence, my son-in-law's forced politeness, my stepdaughter's sudden nostalgia for a man who vanished for nearly 2 decades. Then the party. Arranged without my input, paid entirely by me. Every detail was already in motion before I even knew about it. Venue booked, caterers confirmed, invitations sent. I was only notified when they needed my credit card. That's when I understood. I wasn't a father anymore. I was a wallet. Even on the day of her graduation, when she hugged a man who gave nothing, she didn't look at me. Not once. He joined in family photos. I stood on the sidelines. Ignored. Erased, like someone crossing out ink with permanent marker. I didn't explode. I didn't demand attention. I just observed. The truth doesn't arrive in shouts. It arrives in silence. I didn't react that night. I went home, sat in my study, and started digging. Phone records, transfers, messages, screenshots saved without their knowledge. Evidence of small betrayals. Dinner outings I wasn't invited to. Family moments from which I was excluded. Private group chats I was removed from. But what broke the illusion wasn't her behavior. It was theirs. My wife, my son-in-law. They knew. They watched me carry every responsibility while quietly shifting loyalty to the man who disappeared. And I said nothing. Because I needed to be sure. Because the truth deserved patience. Because revenge is dull when delivered in ignorance. Months passed. Thanksgiving came. The phone call arrived. If you want to join, you need to do the dishes. Not said out of necessity, said out of entitlement, as if I should kneel for a place at their table. I felt a cold calm settle into my bones. Something shattered quietly inside me. And from the broken pieces, I felt something else rise. Resolve. I opened my laptop that night and sent a message to the lawyer I had already hired weeks earlier. All inheritance revoked. Trust funds closed. Property ownership transferred. Access accounts frozen. I didn't hesitate. I didn't warn them. And then I boarded the plane to Switzerland. I bought the villa years ago. A backup plan. Not for escape, but for clarity. From the balcony overlooking the Alps, I took a single photo. Clear blue sky. A table set for one. A view no banquet could ever compare to. I sent it to the family group chat. No words, no explanation, just silence. That silence did what truth always does. It exposed intentions. My phone rang within minutes. Calls stacked one after another. 27 missed calls. Then 49. Then 71. Voicemails filled with panic. Where are you? What did you do? They refused your card. You need to fix this. I watched each call come and go with a sense of control I had never felt before. For the first time in years, I wasn't the one begging for a place. They were. 2 days later, my wife called. Not to apologize, not to explain, to demand. You can't just disappear. Your duty is here. I almost laughed. My voice didn't rise. My heart didn't race. I spoke the truth she had always feared. No. My duty ended when you made me disposable. Silence. She tried again. We're family. We were, I corrected. I told her everything. I knew about the secret dinners, the private chats, the planning without me, the choice to replace me, not for love, but convenience. She didn't deny it. She just whispered, "We thought you'd understand." That was the last thread broke. I do understand, I said. You chose him. Now live with him. Then I blocked her. They still message, still call, still beg for access to the money they once treated as automatic. They say they miss me, that I'm misunderstood, that I'm being cruel. But the truth is simple. I'm not punishing them. I'm freeing myself. The world they built without me now exists exactly as they wanted. I am no longer part of it. They look at my villa and see wealth. I see vindication. I see the price of betrayal becoming visible. I see myself, no longer a placeholder or a provider or a stepping stone, just a man who finally understands sometimes the most devastating revenge is leaving people alone with the consequences of their choices. I crushed the greedy shrew without raising my voice, without anger, without returning to the scene of the crime. And I didn't look back, not once.